2022 Tundra iForce Max. This is the Platinum. This is the top of the line. Well, besides the TRD Pro, but this is the top line powertrain and the first ever hybrid Tundra. Today, we're gonna test out its performance, its fuel economy, and see what it's like to drive on a 30, 40-minute drive. Trust me, the video won't be that long, but we'll condense it and sum it up, boil it down to the most important parts of this all-new Tundra. Man, it's exciting. Toyota hybrids, they are known for being some of the best hybrids out there, most reliable vehicles on the road. They're also known now for being fairly powerful. Look at the RAV4 Prime, and they're always evolving. And this is the first pickup truck or body on frame vehicle for Toyota that is a hybrid. And you know, we don't have fuel economy numbers. For the twin turbo V6 non-hybrid, that's looking to be around 20 miles per gallon. I did some conservative driving on a 1794 on the highway. I was able to get 22 miles per gallon on the highway in that vehicle. But here in the hybrid, it will be an interesting change. And Toyota hasn't shared fuel economy numbers yet on this 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque electrified twin turbo V6. And this engine, this electrified setup, is going to be going forward in the next Sequoia. It'll be going forward in the next Lexus LX, more than likely. It'll be eventually be hitting the new Land Cruiser 300, which we don't get here in the United States. So it's an absolute just, I'm a kid in a candy store with this new powertrain. I'm really excited. I was very impressed with the twin turbo V6 and my initial drives with that, accidentally spinning the wheels due to the low amount of torque available in the non-hybrid. So 2400 RPM is peak torque on the twin turbo V6 non-hybrid, and that's 479 pound-feet of torque. And this vehicle, it is 583, and we have a green light ahead of us. We're just rolling to the throttle, and that's good. That's speed limit, which is 40 miles an hour. But I really want to test the fuel economy on this vehicle, so I'm going to be taking it fairly easy around this drive. Now, I'm already up to speed, let's say 40 miles an hour. It's not that fast, but already, yes, and I do have nice roads, but already the ride quality in here is much smoother, much quieter than the outgoing Tundra, a little bit more comfortable. The materials in here are way better. I'm not gonna do like a full walk around exterior interior because I already did that on this exact same vehicle about a month ago when Toyota first showed them in a hockey arena. So if you wanna see that walk around, make sure to check that out so you can check out the running boards and the blue stitching in this particular model in the Platinum. But yeah, speed limit's 55, so it's just increased. I'm gonna just hammer down. 10-speed automatic, which is the first time in a Toyota vehicle we've seen a 10-speed or an automatic transmission at all in a Toyota hybrid. So how this works is you have the twin turbo V6, and then behind that you have the transmission. But right between the transmission, I guess you could say inside the transmission housing, the 10-speed is an electric motor that helps assist with propulsion alongside the twin turbo V6. So it's definitely a different experience compared to a normal Toyota hybrid. You're not going to have like a lull in acceleration sometimes that you have in a Toyota hybrid. Now, all these Tundras are pre-production models. So that is going to, you know, there's a few things about them, especially on the software side of things, that are throwing a wrench in the system for me. I wasn't able to customize a heads-up display on one of the models, and that's okay. I mean, it's pre-production. My expectations are not that high, but interesting is that this is saying that there's a trailer hooked up. My fuel economy numbers are not going to be as good as they should be because it thinks there's a trailer hooked up, and I don't know how to override that. Now, I just pulled in a gas station. I was actually able to get the trailer to be deselected, so maybe one of the previous automotive journalists had a trailer selected on a vehicle that doesn't have a trailer on it. Anyways, when it's running in low speeds, this vehicle has a new hybrid noise to it. It's very unique. Now this vehicle has adaptive variable suspension on it, and it makes for a very comfortable ride here on the highway. I prefer the steering to be a little bit stiffer, so luckily there's a custom mode where you can make the steering stiffer and still have the soft ride. But if I would have put it in a Sport Plus mode, which I just did right here in Hammer, it sounds like the turbos. You hear a whining noise. Yeah, it's a turbo. So that twin turbo V6 sounds pretty good when it's at full tilt. Better than I was expecting, to be honest. So I'm happy that it has a good exhaust note. We see a Tundra with a Windstream or Airstream behind it. So that's looking pretty fresh over there on the side of the road. We're gonna come to the brakes hard here in this Platinum iForce Max. And that's one of my favorite things about the driving mechanics of this vehicle, is that the brakes are outstanding. They're so enjoyable. I'm just gonna hammer it, and there's 55. And that was uphill too, mind you. So yeah, no, that's not gonna help my fuel economy, but I just wanna get a better feel of this twin turbo V6 hybrid. And I honestly, after driving the double cab non-hybrid, I can't tell the difference in terms of pep and torque and power. Now, I don't have a lot of butt time in both of the vehicles, or should I say in both powertrains, but to me it doesn't feel much different in terms of power and acceleration and torque than the normal twin turbo V6. When this vehicle launches, the hybrid, it is launching in spring of 2022, but the fuel economy to me hasn't been as good in my limited case driving as the twin turbo V6, or it's been negligible in difference at best. And you got to remember, the hybrid's going to be heavier than the twin turbo V6 non-hybrid. You got the nickel metal hydride battery pack underneath the rear seat. You also have the electric motor sandwiched between the transmission and the engine. So it's going to weigh a little bit more. It's not going to be able to tow quite as much as some of the lighter twin turbo V6 models. It's not because it has less power. Obviously this has more power, but it's due to the heavier weight of the hybrid system. Get a lot of buzzards up here. What do you think they're snacking on? I saw a dead fox there, or it could have been a coyote. More than likely a coyote. And beautiful view over the hill. Wow. Texas has its beauty, that's for sure. It always surprises me when you get into the hill country, just how pretty it is. So what better place to be driving the new Tundra in the land of the Tundra, which is around San Antonio where the new Tundra is built. So pretty darn cool. But I need to turn this ship around and get back so other people can drive this twin turbo V6 hybrid. And rolling onto the throttle. Yeah, there's that torque, and there we go. It's there. You know, you feel that torque and that power most from low speeds to about 50, 60 miles an hour. But to be honest, the twin turbo V6 on its own right, non-hybrid, is still a very, very good powertrain. And yeah, I think my favorite truck still is going to be not the iForce Max, you know, TRD Pro. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be this Platinum. My favorite model is the SR5 TRD Sport package, which you can also get the TRD Off-Road in that SR5 package if you want it as well. But man, the TRD Sport is going to cost you a little bit less, and no one won't have the rear locking differential and a couple other things. But man, that to me is going to be one of the best options for the new Tundra. SR5, get a Lunar Rock or Army Green, a really cool color on the SR5 with the TRD Sport or Off-Road. To me, that's the way to go. You can still get the 14-inch screen, I believe, in the SR5. You're not going to be able to get, you know, the rear airbag suspension or anything like that. But man, to me, that's going to be the best truck to get, just based off of my experience with all the grades, which I haven't tested the SR. The SR is not available for the media to test until after that vehicle launches in December. What's interesting is I'm going down hills in this hybrid. The engine goes to 0 RPM, the engine turns off, and it's running on full electric. And now as I'm starting to go back up the hill, engine kicks on, I'm going about, I don't know, 1600 RPM here. So interestingly, it can go in full EV mode without me really knowing, unless I'm really paying attention. So I'm back in EV mode right now, and I'm trying to figure out this new hybrid because it's very different than the traditional Toyota hybrids. I don't even have an EV indicator letting me know that the gasoline engine is off like we have in typical Toyota hybrids. How do I know? Well, really only by the RPMs being zeroed out. So with me kind of cycling through and driving it a little bit more, my fuel economy keeps getting better and better. I am now over 20 miles per gallon. And as we pull back into the home base here, I'm going to take this pretty slowly and try to be in mostly electric mode. And you know, like I said many times, this is pre-production. So what I'm seeing, I'm not able to customize the MID is what the way I like it perfectly. And so I'm not able to see the battery charge levels for the nickel metal hydride. And if I go to the vehicle here and I go to like, you know, typically you see in a Toyota hybrid, you would have you know, like the hybrid diagram of how everything's working, and I don't have that here. So it's definitely different than your average Toyota hybrid on a lot of different levels. And after a little bit more extended driving, probably helped the hybrid battery charge up a little bit. It helps the fuel economy tremendously, especially when you're going down hills or just coasting. The engine shuts off completely, even around 50 miles per hour that I've noticed, in order to get you the best fuel economy possible. But yeah, I'm over 20 miles per gallon. Of course, the engine's on now, and it just turned off. It just turned off. I can hear it just a little bit as we go through the wilderness here. And it's a different hybrid sound, but you're not going to mistake it for not a hybrid. It almost sounds more like Honda's hybrids than Toyota's hybrids, to be honest, but that's not a bad thing. But yeah, still in full EV mode as we're going through the off-road wilderness, and the truck is just really comfortable, even on these unpaved roads. Handles the bumps really well with the coil spring rear suspension, double wishbone suspension up front. And yeah, I just love that brake feel as we control our descent there. I cannot wait to test the vehicle on the full off-roading course, the off-road trail, which will be a lot of fun. But this, you know, mile trail is still a lot of fun and enjoyable in the new Tundra. But let's see. Well, we had that aggressive hill, stayed in full EV mode. I'm just babying the throttle to keep my momentum going, and try to keep it going in full EV mode. Oh, the engine kicked in. Darn. I almost got it back in EV mode. But let's see, I'll get it up to speed, and let's see if I just pull off. Yeah, the noise comes back. And so it does behave in some ways like traditional Toyotas, but it's a new beast on all of its own when it comes to the hybrid. So it's going to be an interesting relationship for me to build with the iForce Max, because it's just so new. It's a green technology. We haven't seen this sort of hybrid tech on a Toyota before. So I'll figure out techniques to get more and better fuel economy out of it. But until then, my fuel economy is around 20 miles per gallon on the highway for the non-hybrid, and about 20 miles per gallon combined for the hybrid. So I definitely wait for full fuel economy numbers, but I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching. Lots of Tundra content coming, but signing out from the iForce Max twin turbo V6. Crazy that I'm saying this. Rest in peace V8. We love you, but it'll never be the same again. You know, you get better fuel economy and things like that out of this. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and as always, peace out.